You know, sometimes you find a paper that isn't just about facts or numbers. Sometimes it's a play, a deeply philosophical one at that. The core question at the center of the door is basically, what would happen if you took Jean-Paul Sartre's existential no-exit scenario and reframed it entirely through a Christian theological lens? Like, if Sartre insisted there's no escape from the prison of our own minds because there's no author, no God, what if a playwright turned the tables and suggested the real problem is self-imposed? The question is huge, honestly, because it's about meaning, freedom, guilt, grace, all those big classic stuff of life issues. And whether you're religious, skeptical, or somewhere in between, this play kind of points its finger at that shared human experience. Am I trapped, or am I free and just afraid to leave the room? Why does this matter for you? Well, Sayles' play takes existential themes, like feeling trapped, the search for truth, the pain of guilt, and, instead of leaving us in despair, kind of opens a door toward hope. It says, hey, maybe the exit is open. You just have to see it. And doesn't that resonate with how we sometimes live day to day? Like maybe the barriers are less concrete than we thought? The door is set in a minimalist white chamber, no decoration, no distractions, where three strangers, Cass, Eliane, and Marek, meet. Each of them stands for something you'll probably recognize. Cass is the intellectual denier, Eliane is all performance and deception, and Marek is full of guilt and despair. There's a voice, think of it as conscience or maybe even God, that interrupts their dialogue. Eventually a figure appears calling himself the Door. Real subtle, right? Sayles uses this setup to dramatize this kind of contest between existentialism and the possibility of transcendence. Like Sartre's original play, the characters aren't physically prevented from leaving. There isn't actually a locked door. What keeps them there is, well, themselves and their refusal or inability to accept the possibility of mercy or redemption or just leaving. So in the door, light is a huge theme. The white chamber gets more reflective as the play goes on, turning into mirrors, making the characters confront themselves, sort of literalizing the idea of facing your own truth. Now, how does Sayles approach this? The play uses super concise dialogue. There's almost a poetic economy. Characters speak in short bursts, lots of pauses and silence. The voice, and later the door character, quote scripture, but not in a way that's like preachy, more as these little interruptions, moments where truth just kind of echoes in the air. The big moment comes when the door tells the characters, I will not force you to be free. That's a reversal of Sartre's message about autonomy. Instead of freedom being a burden, it's redefined as something that's truly possible only in relationship with the author, God. What does all this mean for you listening? Sayles' review suggests that our modern sense of being trapped by guilt, by our own performances, by the sense that no one's really in charge, could be challenged by realizing the prison might be self-made. Maybe there is an open door after all. Whether that's spiritual, psychological, or just a challenge to how you see the world, I guess it's an invitation to reflect. The play's minimal staging, use of sound, and theological punctuation with light and silence, they all come together to make the audience or reader feel, well, not just think. The effect isn't just intellectual, but emotional, cathartic, like a quiet realization instead of a big cinematic ending. So, yeah, maybe next time you feel stuck emotionally or otherwise, this framework gives you another way to imagine your own door, your own exit. And whether you take Sayles' angle or Sartre's or your own, you get to ask, am I locked in or am I ready to step into the light? All right, that's our look at S.C. Sayles' play The Door and the review that unpacks its meaning.